Okay, some quick stats for race number 4, Attrition 101 at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. 20 cars in the race, 6 did not finish. 3 of those were just a hair away from finishing half the laps, with a total of 59 completed by our front pack, which was 6 cars. That's 6 cars on the lead lap after 101 minutes. Awesome work, guys. Awesome work. Multiple strategies were used. We had equal 3 stint stoppers. We had a couple going for fuel conservation. Didn't really. There were some solo accidents that prevented from finding out how well that strategy turned out. Congratulations, Gilberto. Stellar job again. I believe you were our winner here in our exhibition season at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Chapo took the pole. Gilberto has our fastest lap with just a pinch above our whole front pack there. We've got two drivers got into the 139s, which is that's quite impressive. Our middle group there, I'll call just off the lead lap. Literally 3 of them are only 1 lap down, and then we've got 3 more at 2 laps down, and then a 3 lap and a 5 lap. So really good work, gang. We got some big picture thinkers out there, and some fighting for the turns, which is that's good racing. Let's start off with a little bit of lap 1 review. Right here, I'm going to let's look at our red racing stripe there, black car, red racing stripe. In my live stream, I had some inappropriate words, as we're about to see that we've talked about them. That green flag, getting too much distance and setting up that run. It is a protestable offense if you're carrying a marginally higher speed, miles per hour, kilometers per hour, than the pole sitter before they get on the gas. And so I saw this jump through here, and my initial reaction in the live stream is like, "Oh no, not another one! Don't make me protest." But on inspection here, that is not what happened here at all. He had a little distance there. He got on the gas. He was actually in time with the pole sitter when he went fast, but because he had that gap there, it just made it look like he was coming up a whole bunch of positions, which he wasn't. And then he immediately settles in and doesn't push the 3 wide. He uses a good head. So my apologies to you, sir, for my off-the-cuff remarks in the live stream. They were not deserved at all. Good work here through the Andretti hairpin by everybody. We've got defensive, a lot of people are holding inside-outside lines. Feel this is excellent first. This is making me feel really good first lap. Really pulling it in. Our front group, they went single file quickly. And it's starting a single file. We got a little bit more fight back here. This one here, green has a little this is viable. I'm not causing complaint here. He just gets a little bit loose, lose control just a little bit on the outside. Everybody comes out clean. Let's see then, our blue and red here. They were all holding the inside. They're a little bit off pace. And then they get a good run going up through here. They settle off of it. They don't push into the kink. Respectful. And it's paid right here. Black and yellow gets a little bit loose, going too far through. Offering up the good run. Look at this presentation. Beautiful presentation, and it's facilitated. It's what's the word? The word is surrendered. He surrenders the position nicely. Green and white, backs off, realizes this would be a bad time to go throwing it up the inside. So they get on the brakes well. Now back here to our front group. This is our pole, Chapo. Look at this single file action through here. Beautifully well done. We'll pause here for a second. We've got our red racing stripes is severely off pace. Right here we're at 30 miles per hour, a little too much of the inside. You can tell that he's a little unsteady. The group behind him, the closest cars behind him, avoid excellently. You can tell they're checking up, a little unsure. This is pretty much kind of a 45 mile per hour turn. So we're under pace here. I went through and looked at lap after lap after lap after lap, and that is he's consistently off pace through this turn, pulling in right around 30 plus miles per hour, even when he's all alone. Just a little bit more practice here to get this turned down. So it's not like he's done anything. He's not an intentional checkup. There is some contact that happens behind him, but every effort is made to avoid and to try to not have damage. So this is not a strikeable incident on deep review of this driver's line through here. A little bit more practice and pick up the speed through there a little bit, and yay. We'll see. We get some good moves going through and around. This gets interesting. Nice look up the inside. Let's make one point right here. Possibly the best thing to do here, as is instructed in iRacing's. Oh God, on. Oh, thank God the microphone was on. Just had a brain fart there. Is especially during the first lap, most importantly, in the first few turns, is to go defensive. If you want to go defensive, opening the door here, that's telling people to go in, and he had a good run, good pace. So yellow car takes it in nicely into that big giant hole that you gave. And then pink car doesn't. Pink car stays behind. And then what's interesting here is they brake to avoid punting you, and then get off of it and dive onto your inside. And then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna stay out here so that I can enjoy 101 minutes of racing. And as well as that dive down the inside, pink car loses control completely. So kudos to you, Red Stripes, for recognizing stupidity when it's happening. That was disrespectful last second dive. Bold move on lap 1. Straight up goes against what this league is about. Strike, pink car. That's second one of the races. We had one on the pace lap. Here we are, almost halfway through the race. This is so disappointing. Oh, it hurts. It just pains me. As much as it pains me, there's just nothing to do here but shrug it off as racing happens. Slight loss of control, a little bit too much dirt on the tires, getting it around the turn, just the loss of control. Just so unfortunate. This is our car that I've talked about. I have watched him, and clearly we're getting much later into the race. He's getting a little bit better practice at this. He's starting to pick up speed through here a little bit, and we actually have a battle with these 3 cars for 11th position. So this is there's a lot going on into this corkscrew, and what we had the why, whether the talent, the why of this corner, getting a little bit faster. The braking point, you can see the car's a little bit, doesn't have all 4 tires planted. It's a little unsteady through the majority of the braking. There's a lot of things that happen, but essentially it boils down to a punt. So we have a punt, and then we have what I call the bad part. then off of the brakes, because now the punt has just actually slowed the car down enough that you have better control, and the first reaction is to then get off the brakes and then punt again. That's really bad form. Car behind could have done more to avoid it. The third car in the chain, but at the same point, race for position. They weren't the one who's there. That happened in front. You could call that unavoidable at that point, other than just basically giving up the race and stopping and then waiting for it to clear and go. So there is a strike here on this one. Our red stripe gets a strike through this incident. Here we go. This is actually checker flag. We are coming to the final turn of a 101-minute race, battle for position. We have contact, tough contact, damaging contact, and we have it with what looks like a left turn. First thing to note here is our bright car, yellow, green, blue racing stripes, holds their line very well with kind of an over-under kind of move, leaving plenty of room on the outside, while our multiple racing stripe has you can see they lose it over break. Something goes on, they go far out wide and then come back into the inside. Cockpit. I'm not seeing an intentional here. I'm seeing a oh crap moment of locking up. We've exceeded threshold braking, and with too much steering wheel input, too late on the brakes, too hard on the brakes, and then there's that wheel is all the way left, and the car's he's trying to get it to turn. And at that point, then he's trying to get out of it, just not quite fast enough. So we have the contact. I don't see a strike in this. This is hard racing, an accident, final turn. If there's a place in an endurance race to do the hardest you can and to try and make it work, that's right here. And if he'd, I mean, how do you? I don't know why he locked up at this point, other than there's a lot going on. But I'm calling this just no strike, just good old hard racing. Nerves got the best of them into the final turn after 101 minutes. I want to show this because it's very relatable to what just happened in the last one. This is me on my just a couple laps. My tires have just warmed up after my tire change, and so I'm in a battle for position right now. I should say this is me, and I'm in a battle for position, albeit he hasn't pit yet. And I got a good run, I got good presentation, and I still missed my braking point, and I did the exact same thing he did, but I saved it a little cleaner than he managed to. But it's a race. It happens in racing, and this was really not good on my part. Granted, it's a mistake. I'm glad it didn't collect him on it. And but after a couple laps of trying to get around him and him holding really good defensive positions, I finally was like, hey, I got to run. I got presentation. And then I blew it. And so I had to spend a couple more laps trying to get around him. So summary. Incident summary. That's 3 strikes for this race. 2 for Martin, which actually puts him at a strike 3 status, as he got a strike in race 2 at Okayama but has not served it yet. So that is a 1 race suspension. And I might botch this. I'll go with Vlad. Vlad got a strike. And I almost gave myself one there for missing my break-in zone on that pass, but I decided against that because I think I don't know, it didn't seem necessary. The accident didn't happen. If I'd have hit him or he hit me, then yeah, totally. But other than that, I just screwed up. Checked myself and got back to being patient and waiting for him to make a mistake so I could get around him, which was what I should have been doing from the start. Live and learn. practice my own advice sometimes, and maybe it'll prove better for me. But yeah, I was totally into making that pass on my fresh tires. Just couldn't get the presentation, and then as soon as I did, I was like, oh, and then I blew it. So I'm feeling really bad about my attempt there. There is one protest on the, not protest, but there is a request for review on the block, so I will be taking a close look at that, and that will be a non, what do you call that? What are they? It won't be a public YouTube video. That one, you'll have to have the link to view that one because there'll be detailed and names will be involved. And that one will be just on the Incident Review Board, which everybody is invited. Everybody's on the league is invited to join on that Facebook IRB group. Good stuff, gang. Looking forward to next week is the it's our off-season 101 race as this week Global Mazda MX-5 Cup is at the Jefferson Circuit, which actually does a lot more than the reverse Jefferson Circuit for pit stalls. The reverse one is limited to like 21 cars, which we might not overfill at this point. The Jefferson Circuit does allow up to like 30 some, which I didn't realize when I started this off-season thing. I thought both of those circuits were going to be limited to 21 cars, but either way, it's still I'm still calling those our off-season kind of practice races. There'll be unlimited incidents, so we can get in, mix it out. It'll be a social event. The chat will be on for the whole race, so we can get to know each other a little bit. We can communicate a little bit while we're testing out positions, tracks. We'll have all that time to mess around and get into it. And I'm also testing the format of the full race cautions. I want to see how that incorporates in iRacing, how they implement that feature, because that would be honestly, that would be more simulation as long as they don't throw one out for every drop tire on the track. For every like little 1X. I just don't know how they do it. So we'll be running that little test next week as well. Have a good week, guys. Practice smart. Stay up.